Beyond the shimmering glow of the coral reefs, a world of deep blue and hushed secrets awaited. Lulu and her friend Myra ventured bravely into the deep trench, a place where the sun's warm embrace could barely reach, leaving only shadows and faint, mysterious light. The further they descended, the more the darkness seemed to wrap around them, a silent, heavy blanket. "It's so dark here, I can hardly see anything," Myra whispered, her voice a small sound in the vast, quiet expanse. She clung a little closer to Lulu, her eyes wide as she scanned the murky depths. The usual vibrant sounds of the reef had faded away, replaced by a profound, echoing silence that seemed to press in from all sides. Lulu, however, remained focused, her gaze fixed on the small, golden orb cupped in her hand. "Look," she said, her voice steady and filled with a quiet determination. The pearl of echoes is glowing brighter. A soft, warm light emanated from the pearl, pulsing gently like a tiny, captured star. It cast a hopeful glow on their faces, cutting through the oppressive gloom. The shell guardian must be close. "The pearl is leading us right to him." With each downward stroke of their fins, the light intensified, a beacon promising answers in the heart of the abyss. As they followed the pearl's insistent glow, a colossal figure began to materialize from the shadows ahead. It was a being of immense size and power, half humanoid, half encased in a magnificent armor of shining, iridescent shells that seemed to drink in what little light there was and reflect it back with a cold, blue fire. This was the Shell Guardian, the legendary protector of the trench. He loomed over them, his presence ancient and formidable. "Who dares enter the trench of silence?" His voice boomed, not as a sound, but as a powerful vibration that echoed through the water and resonated deep within their chests. The sheer force of his words sent ripples spiraling through the ocean around them. Myra flinched, but Lulu stood her ground, her small frame radiating an unshakable courage. "I'm Lulu, the Dream Keeper," she announced, her voice clear and strong despite the intimidating presence before her. She raised the glowing pearl slightly, a symbol of her purpose. "I came to help the ocean. Your world is fading, and I am here to restore its dreams." The Guardian's gaze was cold, unmoved by her plea. His form seemed to ripple with a dark, sorrowful energy. "The ocean no longer needs dreams," he replied, his voice a low, mournful rumble that spoke of ages of solitude and loss. "Only silence." His words hung in the water, a chilling finality that seemed to extinguish the hope Lulu had brought with her. The Trench of Silence, it seemed, was not just a name, but a decree. Lulu's heart ached at his words. She could feel the pain radiating from him, but she also saw the danger in his resignation. "Why are you doing this? The ocean is dying," she shouted, her voice filled with a desperate urgency. "I've seen it. The colors are fading. The songs are gone. Your silence is a death sentence." The Guardian's massive form tensed, and the water around him began to churn with a dark, volatile energy. The sea gave everything to the surface world. He thundered, the shells on his armor clattering like a rising storm. It gave its treasures, its beauty, its life. And in return, it was poisoned and forgotten. Now, the sea will take everything back. It will reclaim the world in a tide of silence. "You're wrong." Lulu cried out, holding the pearl tightly as if to protect its light from the encroaching darkness. "Silence isn't peace, it's the end of life. It's the end of everything we love." As she spoke, the dark currents swirling around the Guardian exploded outward, a tempest of his rage and sorrow. The violent vortex of water became a physical barrier, a chaotic storm that tore through the trench, pulling Lulu and Myra apart. Lulu reached out, her fingers just grazing Myra's as her friend was swept away into the churning gloom. The glowing pearl in her hand flickered weakly, its light struggling against the overwhelming despair. Tossed and turned by the violent currents, separated from Myra, Lulu felt a surge of fear. But then she looked down at the pearl of echoes in her hand. She clutched it close to her heart, her one remaining connection to hope. As her own determination flared, the pearl responded. It began to hum, a low, resonant frequency that vibrated through her entire being. Its golden light intensified, and within its glow, images began to form. She saw visions, not of the ocean, but of the guardian himself. Memories, long buried and forgotten, flowed from the pearl. She saw him as he once was, his voice a beautiful melody that echoed through the vibrant seas. And then she saw the arrival of the silent tide, a creeping shadow that stole the sounds and songs of the ocean, and with it the guardian's own voice. It hadn't just silenced the ocean, it had silenced him, trapping him in an eternity of voiceless grief. The pearl showed her his broken heart. Looking up at the raging, armored figure, Lulu finally understood the anger was a shield for his pain. "You lost your voice too, didn't you?" She whispered, the words carried not by sound, but by the pearl's empathetic magic. It was a question, but also a statement of shared loss. The raw truth of her words struck the guardian like a physical blow. A sudden, sharp crack echoed through the water. A fissure appeared on his shell-covered armor, and from within the crack, a brilliant, pure white light burst forth, pushing back the darkness. The guardian froze, his violent rage momentarily quelled by a forgotten glimmer of hope. The light that erupted from the guardian's armor grew, shattering the shell of his despair. The dark currents calmed, and the underwater storm subsided as quickly as it had begun. The heavy, oppressive silence was replaced by a gentle, peaceful hum. Slowly, the magnificent being knelt before Lulu and Myra, who had managed to swim back to Lulu's side. His massive form, once so intimidating, now seemed vulnerable. "Thank you," the guardian's voice whispered, but this time it was different. It was his true voice, soft and clear, like the gentle lapping of waves against a shore. The magic of the Pearl of Echoes had not only revealed his past, but had also broken the curse of silence. "I can hear the sea again," he said, a sense of wonder and relief in his tone. "I can hear its song," but his expression quickly turned serious, his eyes filled with a new urgency. "The silent tide is rising," he warned, his voice gaining strength. "What you fought here was only an echo of its power. The true source is awakening." Lulu looked at Myra, then back at the redeemed guardian, her face set with resolve. "Then we'll stop it," she said, her voice ringing with the strength of her conviction. She held up the glowing pearl, its light now steady and strong. "The sea still has a voice, and it's us." Together, the three of them stood as a beacon of hope against the coming darkness. And so, as hope was rekindled in the trench, a far greater threat began to stir. In the deepest, most forgotten pit of the ocean, where no light had ever touched, a dark shadow awoke. The very waves across the world seemed to tremble in fear. The silent tide, the true, all-consuming silence, was coming. And this time, it would not whisper, it would scream. Lulu's journey through the ocean of whispers continues. Every wave holds a secret, and every dream hides a truth. But the sea never, ever forgets those who take the time to listen. Thank you so much for joining us on this adventure. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more adventures with Lulu. We'll see you in the next tide.